I'm Casey Kusan, and this is my literary review of assessing functional health literacy among Hispanic elders with chronic diseases. It's written by Renee McLeod Surgeon, and she is a nurse practitioner with her doctorate. According to her, functional health literacy is the ability to read and comprehend prescription bottles, appointment slips, and other essential health-related materials required to successfully function as a patient. 66% of adults age 65 or older were classified as functionally illiterate, which means that they don't understand the prescription bottles. They don't understand the information that's given to them when they're discharged from the hospital. Either it's written on too high of a reading level, or they just can't comprehend it. And unfortunately, Spanish-speaking Americans have an even lower health literacy rate. Hispanics 65 and older make up about 6.8% of the U.S. population and are expected to increase to 19.8% in the year 2050. So it's really important that we provide this specific group of patients with information that is easy for them to understand, and also ways to help improve their health literacy. Chronic diseases are a main problem with Hispanic patients. They often suffer from cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, stroke, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And that accounts for 70% of the mortality rate for Hispanic patients in the age group of 65 or older. The National Assessment of Adult Literacy has determined that Hispanic adults have the lowest health literacy out of every ethnic group. And McLeod Sojourn did a systematic review of 81 randomized studies and concluded that functional literacy level is associated with increased hospitalizations, higher emergency room utilization, lower use of preventative services, poor medication adherence, impaired ability to interpret health messages, and a higher mortality rate among elderly patients 65 and older. Oftentimes, Spanish-speaking patients who are foreign-born often have a low socioeconomic status, and their general literacy level is not very high, and they typically have not attained a high educational background. So typically most of them have either not graduated from high school, have no college experience, that sort of thing, and they're not very proficient in English. There are several assessment tools that can help with determining patients' health literacy. There's quite a few in English that have been redone in Spanish so that patients from Spanish-speaking countries can understand them. The first one is the Short Assessment of Health Literacy for Spanish-speaking adults, and it's based on a widely recognized English language word recognition tool, REALM, which stands for Rapid Assessment of Adult Literacy in Medicine. So basically, it determines a patient's ability to pronounce the word and then define the word. In Spanish, when it was translated, a lot of times the patients were able to pronounce the word but not necessarily comprehend the word. So it's not the best determinant of what a patient's health literacy is, although it can determine if a patient has an extremely low health literacy. A better tool is the Spanish language test of functional health literacy in adults. It assesses both reading and numerical literacy, and it comes in a long version, which usually takes about 20 minutes, and a shorter version that takes about 8 minutes. and it uses a paragraph with a few sentences, and the fifth or sixth word out of every sentence is omitted. So the patient reads the sentence and then determines which word appropriately fits into that blank. And it's able to determine 3 levels of literacy, and it's based on a score of 0 to 36. So a score of 0 to 16 is an inadequate health literacy, 17 to 22 is marginal, and 23 to 36 is adequate health literacy. And it's also shown to correlate well with Hispanic populations with mild cognitive impairment. And it was used in a random study in an urban setting among a Spanish-speaking population 65 and older, and it determined that 41.9% of that population has an inadequate health literacy level. The third test is the newest battle sign, which is a quick 3-minute screening health literacy assessment, and it's good and reliable and sensitive for low literacy. It's a 6-item test that evaluates the ability to read and demonstrate understanding of a nutritional label on a pint of ice cream. So this is really helpful for patients who have CHF and need to determine sodium levels on food cans. However, it's not suited for predicting health outcomes, especially not as specific as the Spanish language test of functional health literacy in adults, which is quite a mouthful to say. So basically, it's just really important that we as nurses assess our patients and their health literacy level, and then make sure that we provide them with information that falls into their area of understanding. So it's important to assess this because it has the potential for decreasing medication errors and readmission rates, and can possibly improve times of future patient encounters. Forgot what I was going to say. So I can use this in my practice to help me better understand my patient's literacy level, and it's very helpful that these tools can be used in short periods of time to assess our patients and make sure that the information that we're giving them is appropriately read, that they understand the prescription models, and if they don't, we can get family members involved who have a better understanding and kind of can explain it a little bit better. It's been determined that Hispanic culture tends to work really well as a family in their community, and so it's beneficial to make sure that everyone is involved. And I really feel like this information was helpful in determining, kind of where our Hispanic patients reside with how well they understand information, especially when it comes to their health care. I hope that y'all enjoyed my post and that you got a little something out of this as well. Thank you.